So first of all, this is very inappropriate what you're doing.
Hey everybody, it's James Freeman. Sorry my voice is so messed up today, but I had to do an immediate update on this video.
So first of all, this is very inappropriate what you're doing.
Officer Woodard finally found out that he's the one who's been doing something inappropriate for the last year. Yesterday, things finally came to a head after this video was published. I spoke with Peter Nieto, the mayor of Mountainair, on the phone after the video was published to see what was going to be done. But I already believed that Mayor Peter Nieto would try to protect Officer Woodard and make sure he kept his job, based on what's happened in the past. Following the incident where he pointed a taser at somebody for trying to talk to him, Councilman Ernie Lopez sent an email trying to put it on the agenda to discuss Woodard's employment. In his email to the town clerk, he says, "Hello, Dennis. Can you please forward this email to my fellow councilman and mayor? I would like to please be placed on the agenda for our upcoming meeting on February 16th, 2022, to discuss Officer Woodard and his recent actions. I am requesting that Officer Woodard be placed on leave and discuss his possible termination. Recent actions have shown that Officer Woodard is placing the town of Mountainair in a difficult position, with alleged police brutality, excessive use of force, and other illegal activities. I believe it is our responsibility as council members to protect our town, and keeping Officer Woodard employed is counterintuitive to that. Thank you for your time, Councilman Ernie Lopez." Peter Nieto responded, saying, "I am denying this request from Town Councilor Ernie Lopez. This is an action that is beyond the authority of the Town Council at this time. All video has been submitted to our legal team for their recommendation and suggested course of action, if any. Once we hear from our legal team, we will make the appropriate recommendation, including bringing it to the Town Council if the situation warrants. There is a certain process to situations like this. That process has been repeated multiple times over the course of the last few years. Councilman Lopez is again trying to circumnavigate that process, as he has in the past, and will continue to be denied. Thank you, Peter Nieto." Mayor Peter Nieto was well aware 4 months ago that Officer Woodard was an unhinged lunatic. He knew that Officer Woodard was a danger to his community, but showed complete and total disregard for the safety of his constituents and his community. Officer Woodard was on a probationary period at that time and could have been terminated at any time with or without cause. Peter Nieto knew at that time that the mayor and council had the power, authority, and even the duty to protect the community from Officer Woodard, but he instead chose to betray his community and protect Officer Woodard. Had Peter Nieto or Chief Juan Reyes decided to do the right thing 4 months ago, this woman would not have been attacked by Officer Woodard. You would think that since Peter Nieto claims to be a staunch Democrat and supporter of the BLM, he'd be the first one to get rid of a dirty cop that's a danger to the community. At the very least, we would think that he wouldn't actively protect a bad cop. It almost seemed like Peter was dead set on trying to make sure that Woodard kneeled on somebody's neck before he did anything. But if you've seen the way Peter Nieto acts, rather than looking at how he describes himself on paper, you'd see that this is typical Peter. You see, it seems as if Peter Nieto actually has a history of protecting bad cops. Multiple people have come forward to Mayor Nieto about alleged sexual harassment by Chief Reyes. This includes allegations from an EMS worker in town. Peter Nieto even announces in a public meeting that he knows that Chief Reyes called the EMS worker a whore, but simply told Chief Reyes to just stay away from EMS. But how are these first responders even supposed to work together if Chief Reyes can't even show up to an emergency scene because he might call EMS workers whores? There were a number of other allegations made against Chief Reyes, which we will be publishing in the next couple of weeks. But no matter what was brought to Peter Nieto continued to say, "As long as I'm mayor, Chief Reyes will be the chief." Knowing that Peter Nieto has been trying to protect these bad cops, after publishing the video, I called him. Based on his history, I knew exactly what he'd tell me, that he has no power to do anything about it. Had I not called Peter and pushed him to do something, he would still be protecting Officer Woodard.
I know there's going to be backlash, but this is bad. I have to fucking publish this. This is
no, I saw
bad.
the video. It was pretty bad. So, talked to the attorney today. I mean, I can't disclose anything, but I mean, I think something's going to happen sooner rather than later.
I hope it happens in the next 24 hours. People are mad, Peter. And look,
well,
I'm not trying to...
It can't happen that fast, so that's the sucky part. Is it's just kind of like
It can.
It can't just be like, it can't. It can't.
Here's the thing.
We have to get advice. I mean, it's not something that we could just do.
Chief Reyes can put him on a paid administrative leave. As long as it's paid, that gets him off of the streets, and that makes sure that nobody gets killed in the next 2 or 3 days while you figure out what's going on.
Well, I don't think anyone's going to get killed, but...
I mean, I don't know, Peter. This is bad.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I just don't know if I could do that in 24 hours. I mean, I think things are going to happen pretty quickly, but I don't know if it's going to happen in 24 hours.
I can tell you this, though. Chief Reyes has a responsibility. The town has a responsibility. This guy is clearly a danger. Chief, maybe you can't necessarily, or it might be harder for you to do something, but Chief Reyes
I could do it as well.
He absolutely has the authority to put this guy on leave immediately, effective immediately.
I do too. But again, like I said,
it needs to happen.
You know, well, I'm not denying that. I'm not denying that at all.
Then let's do it. Let's get him on paid administrative leave immediately. We can figure out the rest later. Let's make sure this guy never has contact with another member of the public again.
Well, like I said, it's going to happen. It's just a matter of time.
I hear what you're saying, Peter. But
I hear what you're saying, but I mean, like, I do things by the book. I'm one of those people, and I do it by the book.
Look, call the lawyer and call me back, and tell the lawyer, look, James Freeman is telling me we should immediately put this guy on paid.
Well, you don't think I already said that? You don't think I've already recommended that? You don't think I've already, like...
You must have a piss poor lawyer if he said no. Here's the thing about putting him on paid.
Well, he didn't say no. He said, well, let us review this, and then we'll get back to you. I mean, it's not like they're saying, like, oh, absolutely not. He's the greatest thing since sliced bread. They're not saying that. But, again, they have to review everything. Like, they're reviewing it.
So the
and it's a long-ass fucking video, you know?
I get that,
and then they're reviewing every other thing that's happening. So it's just... And then now you guys are throwing in the Bosque Farms thing. So they're like... They have to get the totality of everything.
And I understand that as well. When stuff like this happens in other departments, in big departments, small departments, it's by putting him on paid administrative leave, you are not accusing him of doing anything wrong, nor are you putting the city at liability because he's still being paid. He's literally getting a paid vacation. The whole idea is to make sure that the city, if there is something wrong, that the town is covered because he's not out doing what he's been doing.
Right.
What he's been alleged to have been doing.
I get that. Let me work on it.
All right. I do appreciate it, man. And I was dead serious when I said I'd rather just see him go down and you not go down with him. But you take this dude's side and you're politically screwed.
I'm not taking anyone's side. I'm not a side kind of person. I mean, I want to do what's right. You know?
Right is right and wrong is wrong. You and I both know that. And so you wouldn't take the side of Derek Chauvin when he kneeled on George Floyd's neck. So there is a side.
Correct.
There is a side.
Correct.
And it's the side of you don't beat the shit out of people and take their stuff and bully them and push them around, right?
Correct.
All right, Peter.
All right. Have a good one.
You too.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
A few hours after that conversation, Mayor Peter Nieto contacted me to inform me that newly promoted Sergeant Woodard had resigned his position with the Mountainair Police Department. We've been told that he's already applying at different departments, but hopefully after KRQE News covers this story this evening, departments all over New Mexico will know not to hire Brent Woodard, the liability. Hopefully, someone out there will also take up the task of contacting every single police department in the state of New Mexico to inform them about what Brent Woodard has been doing. As we can see from Bosque Farms, his violent tendencies have gone with him from one department to the next. It's time to put an end to this. We need to make sure that Brent Woodard is never told that he has the authority to terrorize people ever again. Now it's time for Police Chief Juan Reyes and Mayor Peter Nieto to also resign. They knew how unhinged and dangerous Woodard was a long time ago. Not only did they refuse to get rid of him to protect the community, but they even actively blocked council members from getting anything done to get rid of this liability and protect the people of Mountainair. Had Mayor Peter Nieto done his job months ago when Councilman Torres asked him to do it, this never would have happened.
Get over there to the side.
Just come over here.
Get over there to the side
no, you
right
can't
now.
do that. Chris, come down here and talk to them. Get out of my house.
Out of the way.
That's illegal.
Stop,
you can't
stop,
do that.
stop.
You can't fucking just walk in my house like that.
Put the phone down. Put the phone down.
Don't touch me.
Put the phone
Don't
down.
touch me.
Stop.
You need
Stay.
to stop.
Stop. Stop.
Hey, shut up.
Stop.
Sit down. What the fuck is wrong with you? I tell you to do something, you fucking do it. What the fuck is wrong with you? This is fucking ridiculous.
Well done, Peter Nieto. Now it's your turn to resign and let somebody who actually cares about the community take over.